An inside look at the Chicago Outfit's Grand Avenue crew. It seems that every major city in the country has a specific designated area that Italian immigrants would migrate to and dwell together, forming their own community within the city. These Italian strongholds have been rightfully dubbed that city's Little Italy. Chicago had a thriving Little Italy area famously known as the Patch. It was a lively and vibrant area swarming with Italian Americans trying to make ends meet in the Windy City and having a damn good time along the way. The street bordering the Patch on the south is a popular street on the city's west side called Grand Avenue, which was the stomping grounds for one particular Italian that everyone seemed to know and love and was a staple in the Patch area. Of course I'm referring to Joey the Clown Lombardo, or Lumpy as he was known in the neighborhood. Of course any area with a high density of Italians is going to be rich with culture, but also ripe with organized crime, and the Patch was no exception. Now based on first impressions, one wouldn't think that Lombardo, the guy cracking jokes while riding his bike in the neighborhood, or the guy helping a neighbor work on his car, would also be the face of organized crime in the area.
Born in 1929, Lombardo came from a large family, and he became a feared Grand Avenue staple on Chicago's west side for decades.
Like this picture? Come on, I'll take a picture. Yeah, stay here. You Molly one.
Thank you. What's your name? Are you important?
Huh?
Are you important? Why are you trying to track me down for your picture?
I don't know. Esther.
Who is he? Oh.
I'm just buying the picture.
Oh, okay.
You like this picture?
Yeah, nice.
The clown nickname seemed fitting for Lombardo. There's no doubt he earned that moniker. If he was a clown, he'd be an intelligent one. He'd be a clown that read the Wall Street Journal. FBI agents who knew Lombardo were amazed by his business and financial acumen. He embodied such an extreme, paradoxical nature, he almost shouldn't have existed. FBI agent Bill Romer is quoted as saying, "He was no clown, he was a deadly killer, and I believe he filled up a cemetery or two." Lombardo started out with less than nothing, just a low-level street guy. He started getting busy in the 50s. He was a thief, armed robber, heistman, loan collector, and the occasional hitman. But Lombardo really made his name by collecting that money. He was an expert at getting extortion targets to pay up. He got so good at it, he was considered a juice collector's juice collector. The hardest cases that owed outfit higher-ups always paid after getting paid a visit by Lombardo, or they were trunk music, as they say in Chicago. He grabbed an inside track when he became Joey Aiuppa's driver. Drivers spend a lot of time around bosses and tend to become bosses themselves, and Joey was no different. Lombardo truly was a general practitioner of crime, with the experience and skills to perform at the highest level. His big bunk came when he was made capo and given his own crew with about 30 soldiers under him. How fitting is that, and Joey would rule over his old stomping ground, and his crew would be forever dubbed the Grand Avenue Crew. Still, Lombardo truly was an original. Despite his rise in the outfit, he never forgot his roots. No matter what his role in the hierarchy, he never left his old Grand Avenue neighborhood. No one had a bad thing to say about him. He was always personal, down to earth, and loved by everyone who knew him. Everyone in the neighborhood knew if you needed anything, you can go to Joey. He undoubtedly became a Grand Avenue legend. With Lombardo's success as the skipper of the Grand Avenue Crew, he would soon be given even more responsibility. He was put in charge of the Teamsters, or more specifically their pension fund, as well as supervising outfit affairs in Las Vegas, or more specifically the Skim, which would put him in charge of these two. Joey was a special guy. He was a joker and a charmer with a legendary sense of humor and always willing to help out a neighbor in need. However, it can't be forgotten that an aura of very real violence always seemed to follow him around. Well known to the public for his goofy antics, Joey seemed to be able to make anyone smile with his unique sense of humor and delightful personality. But don't get it twisted and mistake his sense of humor for weakness, because if you cross him, you just might find yourself slaughtered in the trunk of a car, like the countless others who've tried and soon became another Chicago unsolved murder statistic. Lombardo would eventually get promoted into the administration as consigliere, a position he couldn't fully embrace because he would keep getting jammed up by the long arm of the law. It didn't used to be that way. Lombardo seemed untouchable early on during the 50s and 60s. He was arrested and acquitted 11 straight times by the time he was 32. Prosecutors caught up to him by the time the 80s rolled around. He was handed a 15-year stretch for bribing a Nevada senator in 82 and then another 10 years for skimming casinos in 86. It was a wrap for Lombardo when they hammered him with a life sentence for murder in the Family Secrets case in 05. They'd send him to ADX Florence where he would die in 2019 at the age of 90. As you probably already know, things usually don't end well for these guys. Crew members can always be found hanging out at Richard's Bar, the base of operations for the Grand Avenue crew. Many crew members can be seen coming and going from this place, along with other outfit wise guys and associates. The Grand Avenue Italian-American Club at Grand and May played host to many Grand Avenue crew members and other outfit heavyweights during the 70s and 80s. You'd often find old-timers playing cards or fixing cars lined up on May Street. Another spot those Grand Avenue boys would gather was Kozo's Compound, a structure the size of a city block that was the home and business of outfit heavyweight Jimmy Kozo for many years. This popular mob hangout was the only place in the entire city that had an outdoor in-ground pool, which was surrounded by a large wall to ensure privacy from the prying eyes of law enforcement. Lombardo's lieutenant and right-hand man was his driver, James Legs D'Antonio. Legs was a skilled thief and heist man, but his specialty was driving. Legs was often used as a getaway driver for heists and has been on several high-speed chases with the cops and was somehow able to elude them almost every time. D'Antonio found his calling and got real good at his craft. Most of the Chicago underworld would agree that in his prime, D'Antonio was the best wheelman in the city. A major earner in the crew was longtime outfit racketeer and staunch Giancana loyalist Chucky English. Chuck made a lot of money with his gambling operation, specializing in jukebox and other coin machine rackets, but he also ran a large-scale juice loan operation and even dabbled in extortion and business infiltration as well. Chuck was a big-time earner, but he didn't shy away from violence, especially in his younger years. Of course, we have the Hoodlum brothers made famous by Martin Scorsese's mob biopic Casino, Tony and Michael Spilotro. The most prominent Spilotro brother, Tony, was a notorious outfit enforcer and hitman responsible for numerous gangland slayings. Growing up on Chicago's west side, Tony was able to rub elbows with a lot of outfit mobsters who frequented his father's restaurant, which was a favorite spot for Chicago wise guys. He embarked on a life of crime at a young age. He started things off as a thief, taking part in various robberies and heists. He was fortunate enough to develop under the tutelage of Milwaukee Phil Aldericio and Mad Sam DiStefano, which would obviously build his propensity for violence. He was determined to move up in the organization, so he tried his hand in the more serious crimes. He'd have his chance when two Chicago hoodlums got themselves into hot water with the outfit. It was Spilotro who tracked these guys down and enacted mob discipline by brutally torturing and murdering them both in what became famously known as the M&M murders. Tony found his groove as an outfit killer and settled in his new role as a hitman and enforcer. Of course, as we know, Tony would be tasked to oversee outfit affairs in Las Vegas and would be sent out to Sin City in the early 70s. His younger brother would follow him into a life of crime and assist him in the rackets. Although Michael was an aspiring actor and managed to land a few roles, such as being on an episode of Magnum P.I., he is best known for being Tony's sidekick and an outfit associate. Another Spilotro brother who made his mark in the outfit was Victor. Even after they savagely beat his brothers to death, Victor would remain loyal to the outfit and receive his button a year later in 1987. Another stone-cold killer within the crew is Mario DiStefano. Often overshadowed by his lunatic brother, Mad Sam, Mario preferred to operate quietly in the shadows and was largely considered the normal DiStefano brother. Mario proved to be a reliable and an efficient hitman, even taking part in the killing of his own brother. Big Sam Ariola and Louis the Mooch Eboli were also prominent wise guys in the Grand Avenue crew. Even though Ariola is a big guy and often used to dish out beatings, he was also a seasoned racketeer and a big earner for the crew. He would take the younger Eboli under his wing and teach him in the ways of the outfit. Louis Eboli, the son of Genovese acting boss Tommy Ryan Eboli, blazed his own trail in the Mafia in Chicago rather than New York, and would eventually rise to become a leader within the crew. Next up, the outfit's boogeyman, prolific hitman Frank Schweihs. Schweihs operated out of several crews. although Grand Avenue seems to be the one he's most commonly associated with. Frank came up as bodyguard and driver for Chucky Nicoletti, learning the art of the hitman from one of the best. He quickly proved to be a skilled and highly effective killer, eventually being considered a favorite hitter of the bosses, providing them reliable and dependable work in the field. There's no doubt Frank was the hardest working hitman in the city, and considered by law enforcement as one of the top hitmen in the nation. Frank scared the scary guys, and rightfully so. Not only was Schweihs clipping outfit rivals, he was often used by the bosses to dish out mob discipline amongst their own ranks. The FBI believes he was the triggerman in the gangland murders of Chucky Nicoletti, Richard Kane, Johnny Roselli, and Alan Dorfman, just to name a few. And some investigators believe he was even involved in the death of Hollywood icon Marilyn Monroe. There's no doubt Frank was a one-man murdering machine. Both respected and feared, Frank's name rang bells all through the Midwest underworld. Anthony Centricino was a powerful crew member who was eventually moved up and given his own crew. Anthony was a top Lombardo lieutenant who began his criminal career as a thief, heistman, and a truck hijacker, and he would later operate thriving gambling and vice rackets. He was a top-tier earner and a savvy gangster, eventually being promoted and soon proved to be a solid captain in his own right. He would eventually get busted for extortion and paying out bribes to several police officials and a city mayor, but would die of cancer before he could be brought to trial. Mikey Switek was another crew heavyweight and a longtime staple in the Grand Avenue crew. Mikey was a career criminal and a longtime thief, hijacker, and heistman who also dabbled in fencing stolen goods and arms dealing. Mikey could earn, but he was also a very capable guy, always willing to do some of the heavy lifting for the crew. He was said to be quite the character and well liked by his cohorts. Another money-making associate in the Grand Avenue crew was Irwin Weiner. Irwin was a low-key Windy City mobster who operated out of the Grand Avenue crew. He did a fabulous job of riding that fine line of respectability and criminality. Irwin was a bail bondsman who made some serious underworld connections with some outfit heavyweights while operating his bail bonds company. He was making a killing due to his outfit connections, filtering them all the recently arrested criminals. When the changes in city laws put a damper on his business, Weiner fell in with his syndicate pals, officially entering the outfit ranks. He would immerse himself in white-collar rackets and quickly became a major money man for the outfit. He was a highly intelligent and savvy gangster who always stayed one step ahead of law enforcement. Irwin was the subject of numerous criminal investigations and was indicted and acquitted 4 different times. The man's never spent a night in jail. Listed by the Senate Subcommittee of Investigations as a top lieutenant of Joseph Lombardo, Sinise would develop into a top labor racketeer for the outfit. Dominic was also close friends with outfit chieftain Tony Accardo, which I'm sure didn't hurt his rise through the ranks. He did eventually become president of Teamsters Union Local 703. Jimmy Cozzo would skipper the crew from 97 to 05 following the incarceration of Lombardo. Jimmy was a moneymaker who specialized in labor racketeering but was kicked out of the Teamsters in 1990 because of his mob ties. He owned the fortress accurately dubbed the Cozzo Compound, which is a common gathering spot for the crew. Joe Kong was an expert racketeer who was also made captain of the crew for a time in the 2000s. Albie the Falcon Vino was a feared enforcer who would move up through the ranks, eventually taking the reins of the crew as captain following Lombardo's incarceration from the Family Secrets trial in the late 2000s. Vino was a protege of Lombardo who beat a murder charge in '92 after he allegedly killed a syndicate-connected drug dealer. By 2018, Vino was suspected to be number 2 in the organization, running the day-to-day on the street for the outfit. Christy the Nose Spina was a Vina protege that rose to prominence as Joey Lombardo's driver in the late 90s, early 2000s. When Vina became captain of the crew, Spina served as his and the crew's primary liaison to outfit administration in Elmwood Park and Cicero. His past liaison role has put him on good terms with the Cicero-based administration when he took over as captain of the crew from Vina. Bobby Dominic was a longtime fixture in the Grand Avenue crew. As a dual-threat gangster, Bobby was often used as an enforcer but was also a good earner for the crew. He was the official proprietor of Richard's Bar, the crew headquarters, although he officially put the bar in his sister's name. He would get pinched in early 2025 for tax evasion, and the crafty wise guy married his longtime girlfriend to prevent prosecutors from making her testify against him. Joey's younger brother Rocco followed him into a life of crime, entering into the outfit ranks. He would help run various gambling rackets and was a loan collector and bagman before putting his own money on the street and becoming a loan shark and a bookie. He would later move to Vegas to help his brother keep an eye on things and go to work at the Crazy Horse 2 for outfit associate Rick Rizzolo. Other notable crew members: